Hi, I'm Titi and I make content around relationships and lifestyle. However, today we'll be continuing the relationship series, the conflict in relationship series, and I'll be talking about conflict style and setting your own conflict management rules, right? So keep watching. So as regards to conflict style, we have like different conflict style. We have the avoiding, the competing, the accommodating, the compromising, direct, aggressive, the passive aggressive, the collaborating, right? Although I can go into the all details on conflict style, so you have to check out my blog TeenewTV.com to read about that, because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. But I'm going to try to talk about the two best conflict styles for relationships, and that is compromising and collaborating. Now, in case of compromising is partial lose-lose, right? This is when each partner let go of something, right, and then win some other part of the conflict, doing an agreement, right? You let go of something, then you get something. That's what compromising is, right? But collaborating is a win-win. This is when you take both ideas from both partners and they come together to create a universal way out of the conflict that suit each other, and it's a win-win for each other, right? So collaborating is like the best way for the best conflict style, and I'm sure everybody wants a win-win when it comes to conflict, right? That is like the goal of every relationship. But to get to that point of win-win, there are like certain things you need to do, right? So I'm going to talk about conflict, setting your own conflict management rule. Now, conflict management rules are things you and your partner need to sit down, and come up with some rules and that would govern you guys whenever you go into conflict, in order to make sure the conflict doesn't destroy the relationship before you get to that point of win-win. Okay, so now I'm going to few ideas you can incorporate in your own conflict management rule. Remember, these ideas might not work for everybody, so you and your partner still need to sit down and think about what will work best for each other. Okay, number one idea would be holding hands, right? So I know, like, during conflict, a lot of people do not even want to be close to each other, talk more of holding hands, right? But if you and your partner can manage to hold hands while talking about something intense, while trying to settle a conflict, trying to settle a disagreement, you guys have like 95% of the battle, really, because that if you guys can hold hands throughout the conversation, it kind of makes it easier, right, to get to the point of win-win, and it kind of makes the damage kind of a little, right? Okay. Second idea would be you guys should sit down and try to figure out your trigger words, right? Trigger words are like things that can be said during conflict that each partner takes personally, right? Now, there are some words that people do not like being used on them, right? Some people, it's being called selfish kind of triggers them, right? Some people being called silly kind of triggers them, right? So you need to figure out the trigger word, and then you and your partner need to agree on not using those words during conflict, right? And sometimes it's not actually trigger words, it can be trigger actions, right? Like, there's some actions that trigger the other person, like, let me think of an action. For me, it used to be pacing, right? Like, I super hated when I'm trying to talk to somebody and the person is pacing all around and the person can't just sit still. Like, it's like, just kill me. Just cuckoo kill me. Like, it always triggers me. Like, I get super upset when I'm trying to have a conversation and you're pacing up and down, right? So you have to figure out the actions that trigger the other person. For some people, it could be attending to phone calls that could wait during the conversation, right? And then for some people, it could be pressing your phone during the conversation. Okay, pressing your phone is like a major red flag. Talking about red flag, I made a content about red flag. That was like the first episode of this series. So you want to go to my blog to check out the series about the red flag. And I'm going to link to the video in the description box above. Okay, so you want to check out those red flags. Okay, then another conflict style you guys could have is maybe agree on not to sweat the little things, right? Like, you guys can make a decision that, okay, there's some things that we are just not going to try to, extend, right? There are some things we're just gonna try to let go, right? It could be like, okay, if you guys go out on a date, right, and maybe by adventure something happens during the date, right? You guys can decide to like, okay, whenever we're on a date and something happens, we're just not gonna sweat it out, right? We're just gonna let it go in order not to ruin the whole date, right? Because it can just be so upsetting. Like nobody decides to go out or hang out with you just to spoil your mood, right? So if your partner or you guys decide to go out and your partner does something or says something that you feel like you can let go, at that point try to let go. That you guys setting a rule that you guys will not sweat on little things, right? And that if by adventure something really needs to be spoken about, then we won't talk about it during the date. We'll talk about it maybe when we get home or some other time, so that we don't ruin the whole date for ourselves, right? So another style you can think of incorporating would be addressing conflict only in person. Okay, I know this might not work for people who are in long distance relationships, right? But if you can agree to address conflict only in person, it makes things kind of easier, because over the phone and over chat, conflict can get quite heated up, right? Because someone can say something and the other person can take it in another way, right? Because you're not seeing the person, so it kind of makes conflict kind of more intense. So if you guys can agree on, okay, whenever a conflict is about to arise, we will not address it till we see in person. Okay, so I think when it comes to conflict management, it all boils down to what works for you guys. Really, what works for you guys. So you have to sit down with your partner and you guys have to talk, figure out your trigger word, figure out what your trigger actions, what triggers the other person, what can we do to manage our conflict, to manage the damage that can be caused during the conflict before we get to the point of ruin. The other day I was talking to my friend and he told me that he and his girlfriend had like a fine. Like they had this, whoever goes to bed angry pays a certain amount of money, right? I thought that was cute, but he said it works for them. So it's all about what works for you guys, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you really like this video, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Check out my the other episode of this series, right? And subscribe and turn off the bell notifications, because my the next series would be conflict resolution and how to get to the point of the win-win, right? So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.